This video, I think, is going to be more on a serious note, chat. But I also wanted to get caught up on this news as well, because I've been seeing a lot about it, and I was told that this video goes over a lot of information regarding it. But I think this is the AI voice actor stuff with the SAG-AFTRA. English voice actors had the worst thing happen. I'm pretty certain this is about the AI stuff, and I would like to learn a little bit more about it. And I want to know if Genshin's going to be affected, and if other games are going to be affected, and just everything, because I don't know enough about it right now. So let's dive right in, I guess.
Major news in the English voice acting space has broke. As you can see here, Culture Crave says, SAG-AFTRA has signed a deal for AI use in video games. And I quote, "This is an evolutionary step forward."
Didn't they literally have a strike not long ago? I saw like I saw so many people take part in a strike to not have this happen,
leaving many people commenting things like this. So what the heck was the strike for then? And other comments such as, the only thing worse than my job being replaced by AI is my job being replaced by AI that objectively sounds terrible and cheap.
As much as I agree with that statement, it's like, no matter what, if your job gets replaced by AI, whether it's good or bad, it's not a good thing.
As well as a SAG-AFTRA member, I didn't approve this message.
Oh, man.
Now, personally for me, I'm not surprised by this development at all.
I would like to say that I'm not surprised by it, but I did have a little bit of faith that the strike that everybody did would have some kind of positive impact instead of a straight up negative impact, because what the fuck is this?
If you saw my prior segments talking about this union stuff, you might recall how I criticized many unions for being ineffective and filled with corruption. To put it simply, if people are already dealing with a corrupt corporation, it seems unwise to add a corrupt union on top of that. Furthermore, if people need to bargain together, they can literally do that without a union. Of course, it's a bit easier said than done, but some...
Okay, that's true, but unionizing is always... For the majority of things, unionizing is a good thing. I guess people are just going to make their own union. Would that be possible? Could VAs make their own union? Would that be trusted enough? Would that work? I don't know.
Sometimes taking that road is what it takes to achieve a better outcome. And now we see many voice actors...
Yeah, unionizing is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, especially for things like this.
...actors upset with the SAG-AFTRA labor union. For example, Steve Blum here responding to the news, saying, "Excuse me, with all due respect, you state in the article, quote, approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community, unquote. Nobody in our community approved this that I know of. Games are the bulk of my livelihood and have been for years. Who are you referring to? And by the way..."
Koi said, "Did your wife leave you for a voice actor? What's going on here?" God, I love Koi so much, dude. Jesus Christ.
"Games are the bulk of my livelihood and have been for years. Who are you referring to?"
That's
incredible.
By the
way, those responses are to this tweet from SAG-AFTRA News. In the tweet that reads here, SAG-AFTRA and Replica Studios introduced groundbreaking AI voice agreement at CES.
Yep,
Back to some of the responses.
Love that.
Koi Dao saying, "Did your wife leave you for a voice actor? What is going on here?" And Kellen Goff saying, "All voice actors in favor of cutting off this useless, out of touch, corrupt jailer of a union in favor of making our own union."
Amazing. Yeah, now, dude. What? Okay.
Jailer of a union in favor of making our own union, say I.
Genuine question here. This is for YouTube comments as well as you guys Twitch chat. What would... I know about unionizing, but I don't know enough about it. So what would be stopping voice actors from creating their own non-corrupt union? What would be wrong with that? Is it a money issue? Is it expensive? Is it a law? Politics? I don't know. Nothing, just need leadership to organize it. Kellen Goff might be the leader everyone needs. Money too? Is it expensive? I think if people created a GoFundMe for it, like with all the voice actors, they'd be able to do it, depending on how much money it is. But I think they'd be able to fund a very good amount from the communities. I think a lot of Genshin players would also very much like to have humans voicing their characters instead of a robot, unless it's an actual robot character. I don't know, dude. I think it'd be a good thing if they made their own union.
Now let's hop over to sagaftra.org and see specifically what they have to say.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know what this means. A groundbreaking AI voice agreement. What is the agreement?
Replica Studios, Replica, an artificial intelligence AI voice technology company.
Oh, they even called their studio Replica.
And SAG-AFTRA announced today the introduction of a groundbreaking AI voice agreement during an event at CES. This new agreement paves the way for professional voice-over artists to safely explore new employment opportunities for the
faces. They don't want new employment opportunities for AI. They just want to keep speaking.
Their digital voice replicas with industry-leading protections tailored to AI technology.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as protection for AI. I don't believe it. It's not a thing yet. If anything, this is proving that it's not a thing yet.
Allowing AAA video game studios and other companies working with Replica to access top SAG-AFTRA talent. The agreement between the leading AI voice company and the world's largest performer.
Allowing AAA video game studios and other companies working with Replica to access top SAG-AFTRA talent. You know what the best way to access the top voice acting talent is? Ask them to voice act for you instead of getting a robot to mimic it. Are they stupid? Are these people stupid?
Will enable Replica to engage SAG-AFTRA members under a fair, ethical agreement to safely create and license a digital replica of their voice.
I really hope this means that voice actors have to agree to it, number one, get paid a ton, including royalties at least the same as what they would have been paid for actually voice acting in what they, this just sounds horrendous. It just gets worse and worse.
Licensed voices can be used in video game development and other interactive media projects from pre-production to final release. Approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community, this contract marks an important step towards the ethical use of AI voices in creative projects by game developers.
You said it was already ethical, but now you're saying it's it's an important step towards the ethical use, but you said that it is ethical use. We can read up here. It's a fair, ethical agreement to safely create and license a digital replica of their voice. But now you're saying it's a step towards the ethical use. Get your together, you dumb
and sets the basis for fair and equitable employment
you're so
voice actors as they explore the new revenue opportunities provided by AI. In addition to establishing minimum terms and conditions, the agreement ensures performer consent and negotiation for uses of their digital voice double and requires that performers have the opportunity to opt out of its continued use in new works.
The only part about any of this that is good is that final part. If there's a VA that is okay with their voice being used with AI and they agree to a certain length and they get paid enough for it, sure. They're not failing anything for themselves. I just feel like as like an industry standard, this is a terrible thing. I feel like this is just not gonna end well whatsoever for anybody involved.
And then we have this quote: "Artificial intelligence has dominated the headlines, and
and it's not a good thing.
For most performers, the best protection against the unauthorized digital simulation of their voice, likeness, and/or performance is a SAG-AFTRA contract."
That's going well. That's going good, isn't it?
We are so happy.
I heard Hirohe laughing as well. Hold on, listen. You can hear the laugh.
Likeness and/or performance is a SAG-AFTRA contract.
Did you hear the little laugh? It's so stupid. This whole thing makes no sense. Yeah, the only thing protecting them is the thing bringing them down now.
We are so happy to partner with Replica Studios because this is a great example of AI being done right, said SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher. The quotes continue. Recent developments in AI technology have underscored the importance of protecting the rights of voice talent, particularly as game studios explore more efficient ways to create their games, said SAG-AFTRA.
So, let me ask this question. If a voice actor says, I don't want my voice being used for AI, they're not going to do it, right? They're not going to use the voice for AI, right? They're not going to try find some loopholes for it, right?
After National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator Duncan Crabtree Ireland.
They're going to respect the rights, right?
With this agreement, we have
no is the answer. No, this is stupid. This is a cover-up.
Achieved fully informed consent and fair compensation when it comes to the use of our members' voices and performances. We are proud to work with Replica in leading the way to make it easy for these companies to access SAG-AFTRA's world-renowned talent in an ethical manner and ensures consent and fair compensation for their
for something so unethical, you sure seem to be using the word ethical a lot.
Contributions. This agreement also paves the way for other companies to follow their lead. Replica is proud to partner with SAG-AFTRA to introduce an ethical approach to the emerging use of generative AI. We are excited by the new opportunities this opens for world-leading AAA studios.
Bro, I'm so done with AI. My company makes us take courses on AI at the minute, telling us it's to aid in our jobs, but I'm just trained to take my job at some point. This. So here's the thing, right? And I'm going to be 100% honest here. And a lot of people might agree with me, and a lot of people might disagree with me as well. Okay, but I think AI has its good uses, and I think one of those good uses is aiding people in their jobs, but it's got to be done right. If you are training AI to aid you in your job, to make your job easier, what should happen is you should have to work less hours and your pay should stay the same while AI helps you. 40-hour work weeks should go to 30-hour work weeks and your pay should stay the same to keep up with living standards and everything else. AI should be used as a tool to help people and not to take over people. That's how I see it should be.
Studios, who can now access the benefits of Replica's AI voice technology, while knowing that talent is recognized and compensated fairly for the use of their likeness, said Shreyas Nivas, CEO of Replica Studios.
Great.
Our voice actor agreements ensure that game developers using our platform are only accessing licensed talent who have given permission for their voice to be used as a training dataset.
Okay, so when are we going to hear about people signing, like, here's the thing, dude. Here's the problem. Because this is what's going to happen, dude. This is what's going to happen. I can see it a mile off. The contracts for voice actors are just going to have it written in that this is a must. Otherwise, they're not going to sign. Like, I can see it coming a mile off. There's going to be no option.
As opposed to the wild west of AI platforms using unethical data scraping methods to replicate and synthesize voices without permission. GameSpot.com also wrote about this, saying, Actors Union SAG-AFTRA, which also represents voice actors and mocap performers in the games industry, has announced a groundbreaking agreement with AI voice studio Replica Studios, and many voice actors are not happy. Many of the industry's top talent have come out to state they weren't consulted on the deal and don't know anyone was. No one asked me about this. No one reached out for my opinion, said Elias T, the voice of Adam Jensen in the Deus Ex series. From what I'm seeing, no one asked any of my peers either. Steve Blum replied to SAG-AFTRA's tweet to add, Nobody in our community approved this that I know of. Games are the bulk of my livelihood and have been for years. Who are you referring to? Replica Studios tweeted the news on its own account, inviting people to ask questions about
ethical, by the way.
We can't wait to show you what's possible here for consent, contracts, and compensation, the company said of its processes. We're not...
Contracts, huh? See, here's the thing. The 3 C's, chat. Consent, contracts, and compensation. So what they're going to do is they're going to write it into the contracts that you have to agree to use your voice for the AI build. People are not going to consent, and then there is going to be no compensation because they're just going to find someone who is okay with it.
Only concerned with those 3 C's, but also keen to make creativity and narrative storytelling more immersive and engaging to benefit the voice talent, the game studio, and the consumer.
See, I saw a couple of things about like MMOs and stuff using AI to generate endless like voice dialogue options and stuff. And again, I think with the right proceedings and the right what's the word? We literally just used it with AI. Regulations, I guess. And if it's done right and with consent and with options and way better pay than what voice actors get paid currently, if they're going to be replicating their voice to be able to give endless dialogue options, but it's still their voice. Eventually, I think it could be a good thing. Right now, though, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But like, I always think, going around in Skyrim, meeting a random person, talking to them, and then being able to have actual conversations about things going on, it'd be cool as hell, sure. But it's got to be regulated to a point where everybody involved with it is happy with it. Otherwise, it is not good. And it'll just be a terrible thing.
SAG-AFTRA has been negotiating on behalf of video game voice actors and mocap actors in the past year.
Not very well.
On similar issues to those faced by TV and film actors, including wage growth, workplace safety, and the use of AI. A strike was authorized last September in case a suitable deal could not be struck, but so far this strike has not begun. Didn't,
like, actors get a thing done where they wouldn't use their voices for AI, but voice actors are the ones that are getting f***ed over because they're not considered actors, which is stupid?
The deal with Replica Studios appears to be mostly unrelated to these negotiations, as was announced as part of CES event this week. But people have been quick to call out the union for authorizing AI voice actors when AI was a key issue in last year's extensive film and TV strike. The film and TV agreement doesn't outright ban AI, but requires explicit actor consent for how their digital replicas can be used.
Exactly.
And requires studios to notify the union if considering using fully synthesized actors, giving the union a chance to bargain for human actors to be cast instead. Another quote.
And that's pretty much how it should be. Why can't it just be the same for voice actors?
Parties acknowledge the importance of human performance in motion pictures and the potential impact on employment. One clause of the agreement states, AI voiceover has already started to appear in major game titles, with free-to-play shooter The Finals seeing criticism for its use of AI voices.
Yeah, which was stupid, dude. They had announcers and people commentating over the game, and it was AI voices, and it was so obvious because they were so bad.
For its announcers. And that's the article. So yeah, that...
It was like competitive gaming, and the announcers and commentators were AI. It didn't make sense.
is essentially the situation. Now,
oh, Jeff, he just pulled out a gun and shot him in the head. He got a kill. Like, dude, there's no emotion. There's no life.
now let's continue by
There's no excitement when something cool happens, you know? Like,
taking a look at further reception from voice actors on this.
like, one of the coolest things about watching competitive gaming is when something cool happens, it's like, oh my god, like, Faker just got a quad kill. Like, team wipe, team wipe. You don't get that with AI. It's, well, Mary, looks like the game might be over sooner than we thought, huh?
News. Go with SAG-AFTRA, they said. They will protect you, they said. They are not in bed with corporations, they said.
Clearly.
They have your best interests at heart, they said.
Mm-hmm.
And a response to that saying, it used to be my goal to be able to join someday, but now it's sad when being non-union probably gives you more protection against this than they do now.
Well, I wouldn't say that, to be honest. I still wouldn't say that at all. Unionizing is still better. Yeah, that is naive. Even if the union's doing fucked up shit like this, it's still better to be under a union than not, because anybody can take your voice if you're not under a union and do whatever the fuck they want with it, and you can't really do much against it.
Yeah. Real talk.
Or you will have to spend a lot of money to.
Can we just form our own voice actor union? Because
Yes.
this is terrible.
Do it!
Approved by affected members of the union's voiceover performer community, SAG-AFTRA straight up spreading lies.
Yep.
No voice actor would willingly approve this. AI has no place in voiceover or the arts in general. Stop lying, show us the terms, and prepare for another strike. Crown.
No, screw the strikes and stuff. Just set up your own union. I really do think getting a ton of voice actors to set up a union, making a GoFundMe and announcing it would be the best thing to do going forward. Of course, it's going to be a lot of work for like a couple of people, but if it's affecting them this much, I think it's worth it. I think they should do it.
Groundbreaking, as in breaks the ground out from...
Dude, Koi would just tweet out hashtag SAG-AFTRA and link a GoFundMe, and dude, the Genshin community would probably fund it.
under the voice actor. What AI-related stocks are these union heads invested in? We need to clean the frickin' house. I want end today with one last earnest plea. Please, if you are a SAG-AFTRA voice actor in good standing, please sign up and attend these meetings. The links will be below.
Jenny
this is
as
coming
well.
off of the contract being voted in after an abysmal turnout rate.
Base
Please
you and me.
show up. It's not enough to say it on Twitter. Our union needs to hear it straight from us. SAG-AFTRA voice actors. Now's the perfect time to tell leadership exactly why we're
It's
upset.
so sad,
There's a
though,
town hall
dude.
meeting tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. PST and another on January 16th. You have sold away human creativity on a level and in a way that has not been seen yet in history. The integrity of the arts is at stake, and you said, money, please.
Yep,
You're
exactly.
certainly breaking ground, the foundation you once stood upon.
Damn! You can tell this guy's a voice actor, because that was hard.
I want to act. I do not want to sell someone my likeness to use and then pay me. It defeats the purpose of art and performance when neither art is created, nor do I perform.
Yep.
Once again, I do not and will never give consent to be used for AI in any way, shape, or form.
Good.
Other responses to the news includes, you were supposed to be the good guys. What the heck? Another one just basically cussing them out. Devoted SAG-AFTRA strike members watching SAG-AFTRA side with generative AI after months of striking for nothing.
It's so
the same
sad,
SAG-AFTRA
dude.
that went on strike for months to not use AI in film and television? All right. Those comments were not picked randomly, by the way. Those were some of the most liked responses that popped up first in the replies and quotes. Anyways, I think you get the idea. And you know my opinion on this stuff already, so I'll wrap this one up here.
Makes sense.
As always, thank you for tuning in, and please consider letting me know what you think about this all in the comments.
It's terrible.
And please consider also liking and or subscribing for more segments like this every day.
We don't like it here. This is not the timeline we want to be in. There's the video link, chat. Make sure you go like it and check out the video again. You should probably read up more on the SAG-AFTRA stuff as well and learn a bit more about it, because holy, it's ridiculous. It is very, very ridiculous. Just goes to show that AI isn't really the issue. Greedy corporations are. 100%, yeah. AI can be used for good. Nobody likes AI. Wrong. AI can be used for good. the corporations that are using the AI are not using it for good. That's the problem. The people that are using it for bad are the issue here. AI is fine if it's used in a right way. AI is just a tool. It's like saying if someone went on a murderous rampage with a hammer and killed thousands of people with a hammer, it's like saying hammers are bad. No, they're not.